What is up, Matthew England? How are you this morning?
Oh, couldn't be better, Dustin. I think we've said this a few weeks ago. The only way it could be better is if we were on the water.
Wishing we were fishing. Right? Man, super cool sweatshirt you got on there. I just noticed Power Crappie.
That's right.
LLC, right?
That's right.
Power Crappie LLC. What's the website?
FeelTheThump.com.
I like that.
Yep. Yes, the Power Crappie LLC is the home of the Todd Huckabee Signature Series line. From whatever technique, whatever experience level, or tournament to novice angler, they've got a pole in their lineup that will fit your needs.
Yeah. They're one of your sponsors.
Yep.
They've been a sponsor for a while, haven't they?
They have been, yeah. Going on 4 years now.
4 years, and you've got just about every pole they've got.
I have
right?
every pole in their lineup.
How many do they have?
You put me on the spot to count. Let me go through real quick. We got the 6-shooter, the Ninja, the Dingo, the Epic 8, the Hot Rod, Meat Dragger, Elite, Pulling Rod, the Jerry Hancock Signature Series. That's called the Striker. Then we have the Slab Swinger, the Trident.
Holy cow.
The Flip Stick, the new Ghost, that we fished with.
Ooh,
baby.
Yeah.
And then they have the K-Rod. And that rod there is the 16-footer. That's actually named after Ken, who's the owner, named after his wife.
Really?
Yeah, her name's Kay, so they just put
the
K-Rod.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. That's a lot to choose from. Where would I start? If I want to get on there, I need a crappie pole. What do I do?
I would probably just, I get this a lot. This is a question I get at least every other week during the season. Hey, Matt, what rod do I get? And while I ask them questions, do you fish from the bank? Do you fish from the boat? Do you like to use a cork? Are you a live scope fisherman? These long rods are live scope tools.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I'm going to talk about that Ghost for a long time. That Ghost is that 15-footer. And what that does, it allows you to keep your bait further away from your boat as possible. So, I love live scoping. I love bank fishing. I love fishing structure. And each and every one of those rods would be one to use for that certain time of fishing.
Right. They've got something for everybody. They've got something for every situation.
From, like I say, they have some big names on their teams. They have some big names winning national tournaments. So these guys could use any rod, and they choose the Power Crappie for a lot of reasons. They have sensitivity from the tip to the grip. They have that extended cork handle, fits right up your forearm. These, when we're out there live scoping, it might be 10, 12, 15 minutes between drops. So you just hold that rod right here, and you're not wasting any effort. And then when you get that chance, it's comfortable. And the balance, it's that rod being so balanced is crucial to being able to control what you're trying to do and being as effective as possible.
Well, so you always talk about boat flipping, and my wife asked me the other day, what the hell is he talking about, boat flipping? I said, well, boat flipping is catching that fish and just flipping him right into the boat. No net necessary. Right?
That's right.
No net necessary. So I've seen you pull in just about every size fish.
That's right.
With these rods, and no net necessary.
No net necessary, and the sensitivity on the tip, it transitions into that backbone seamlessly to where you are going to boat flip any crappie on the planet with any one of their rods. I was fishing with WSD down there on Wister Lake, and we were using the K rod. I took my Phantom. That was the first rod they ever sent me. I wrote the number
Your
one.
Favorite.
It was my
right.
It's the most warm
special.
emotional attached to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I told Ken after that trip fishing with him with that first rod, I'm going to retire it. And I got a beautiful picture of me holding that 231 that we had on camera with Robert. So really, when we're talking about boat flipping, you want to have that sensitive tip transitioning into the backbone section of the rod. That way it's not losing control of the fish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when we've been out there fishing, you know, catching some nice fish, and here they come. You set the hook, control the fish, and you're not hurting it either.
Right.
You know, you bring it into you.
And it's just
boat
right
flip.
into your hand.
Boat
Just,
flipping right in.
And there you go. So you've got, what's the 6-shooter?
6 shooters, 1 piece, 6 foot.
6 foot. 1 piece,
1
6
piece.
foot. And then the Epic 8, right?
Yep. That is, in my opinion, one of the most versatile rods I've ever fished in my entire lifetime. It's a medium action, 8-foot pole, breaking down into 2 4-foot sections. And there's not a technique that I haven't found it be one of the best rods for people learning how to fish, for people that have fished a lot of different rods. They just love that Epic 8 because I have them all on the boat. And I give everybody chances to use whatever rods they want, you know. So that's one good benefit on being on the Power Crappie team. People not only get to fish the rods for the first time, they know which one they like the most to buy.
Try them out, see what one fits them the best.
Try them out.
Yeah. You got that. You always talk about that breaks down, put it in your car, put it in your truck. You know, always have it on the ready. So
on the ready,
because I know you see a body of water, you're pulling over and you're
if
fishing.
I got 30 minutes, I'm going to get out there. And one of the main benefits to these long rods, from the Trident to the Flip Stick to the Ghost and K-Rod, they break down into 3 pieces. So you don't have a 7.5-foot section. You know, you can put that in a backpack. And I literally have put my Trident in the backpack. I've walked up Big Creek, a tributary to Lake Decatur, and I've dipped in there 8-10 inches. And you're able to get out there far enough from the bank. You know, you wade out there a little bit.
Maybe where somebody hasn't been able to go.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times casting in that shallow water and trying to retrieve the bait back, you're going to get hung up. You know, and from the bank, with that line being at an angle, it's hard to retrieve it a lot of times. So
you can get out over, pull it up.
You can see a stump. You can see something just under the water's surface, and you're able to reach it and control it. Because, you know, say that Trident, that's 13 foot. You know, so I can get 13 feet away from the shoreline and hit each and every one of those stumps up these creeks that might only be 25 feet wide.
Right.
You know, so I can walk up the east side of a creek and fish as far as I can, go in there and cross the creek at the mouth of it and come back and fish the exact same way. And that's just from the bank.
Right.
But those longer rods breaking down into 3 pieces, they're not only easier for storage, they're actually stronger. The 3-piece is actually stronger than the 2-piece. You know, there's not just that one area where it's got that power, that breaking point where it comes together.
So now this is a novice question. This is coming from an idiot, right? A guy that doesn't get out there quite as much. But can I catch other fish with these rods or what?
Oh, my goodness. We catch bonus fish. It's rare to go target crappie and not catch a bonus fish.
Yeah.
And, you know, every time I see, I've had clients boat flip a 4-pound largemouth bass. Whenever I saw it, he was using the Elite. Remember, we were fishing just south of Point 3 on Lake Shelbyville about 3 years ago. He's using that Elite. It's a 10.5-foot rod, breaks down into 2 pieces. And we knew it wasn't a crappie.
Yeah.
We knew it wasn't a crappie. We were fishing a beaver hut. We knew it wasn't a crappie. And I was like, hey, just have fun with that fish and boat flip it. And boy, if he sure didn't.
Yeah,
and, you know,
the pole withstood the.
It's ready to go again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I now that I think about it, I've seen you guys. You had a carp on last year.
Yep.
Big old fish.
It was about a 15-pound carp, and the young adult was using that Epic 8.
Yeah.
You know, don't let any length of rod deter you from what that rod can do in performance.
Can handle.
It can handle, you know. But getting back to WSD, what I was saying, how we were using those longer rods out there at Wister Lake. And, you know, as we're live scoping, we're trying to stay away from these fish in stealth mode. And, you know, getting to fish with those big time pros, it's a lot of fun with their boat control, etc. But just like anybody else, every once in a while, a fish will get inside of your 15 feet. Now, you can do a lot of things, but what Robert taught me is he said, Matt, grab that dingo. He always puts a hair jig on his small rods. He has that dingo. He threw it out there. He pitched it down, He threw it down there. He sets the hook. His telephone rings. It's Eric Cagle, one of the most well-known names in crappie fishing.
Right.
WSD hands me the pole. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I pulled in. It was a 180.
Yeah.
It was a 1.8. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And he's on the phone there. We got Ken in the back, and he's talking to Eric. And he's like, I just handed old Matt here from Illinois. I just handed him off the pole, and it happened to be a 180.
Yeah.
And that fish was just real close to the trolling motor. So having a shorter rod ready, and I mean ready, Dustin.
Right.
I mean ready. Like know where it's at. You reach down and get it, and you're able to have an opportunity on that fish.
So they what they do a little bit different. They get out there in that open water. You're out there in that open water chasing these fish, these singular larger fish, lone wolves, right out there, and you just hunt them down. You just chase them with these 15-foot rods to get it away from the boat, and it doesn't even have to be the 15-footer. You know, if you're still keeping that fish out in front of your boat, I pendulum toss to him. Like I said, he had that dingo there. He was casting that dingo out there while we were still fishing with the long rods too. Yeah.
So it's whatever you're more comfortable with and have the most confidence in. Right. But, you know, I tell this to all my clients. I say, hey, you've used that Epic 8 for a couple hours. I want to see you transition to this hot rod that's 1 foot longer, and let's see how it fits and feels in your hand. They fished that a couple times. Say, hey, let's try this one out. Now, which one would you like to go to? And a lot of times, Dustin, it's one they've never used. They love them all. I love them all. And it's all about having that confidence in your rod that's going to boat flip any fish that you catch, you know.
Right. Well, I know now, and when we went out, I've seen a lot of red poles on Lake Shelbyville.
You know,
and the surrounding areas.
Yes, if you go to the lake, you're going to see a boat with one of them red rods in it, and it's just a huge compliment to the Power Crappie LLC lineup, because every fisherman or fisherwoman is going to have different strengths and techniques that they go to, and inside that Power Crappie lineup, they got a rod that'll fit your needs.
There's something that'll fit their needs, and once they get them in their hands, they're hooked, almost like those big crappie.
That's it. I mean, you get what you pay for. It's a quality product. I was down there last year, and I was at Ken's house, and he was taking me through, and there were so many prototypes. I'm not kidding. I'll bet. I thought I had a lot of rods.
Yeah.
I'll bet this place we were at probably had 200, 250 prototypes on if they like that type of sensitivity at the tip. Is there enough backbone? So the research, development, and time on the water before they're even produced, before they're even released.
Well, there's these big names are not putting their name on a rod that they don't believe in.
Oh, no. Like I've mentioned, the Ninja, Joe Partenza, he's out of Georgia. He likes to shoot docks. So he uses that. He designed a rod, and that's a 6'6" one-piece pole, and it fits his style. Jerry Hancock, another guy, has a signature series rod. His is the Striker. It's 11.5 foot. His has got the unique foam handle with the grips set into it. I always say it's one of my favorites. I mean, yeah. I can't say a favorite because they're all great rods.
Right.
And as a guide, I really need a tool that can help my clients from the first time to fish or even a tournament angler. I need to have my equipment be able to give me every advantage that these Power Crappie rods will give you.
Reliability, sustainability, and the price point once, that's also a key too.
Oh, very affordable.
They're not overpriced for the quality that they are.
I'll tell you what, the return on investment on one rod by how many meals that you can buy not have to buy from
this. Now this is a sales point for the ladies right here. This is what you tell your wives.
That's right. If you go get you a Power Crappie rod, and you're going to be able to provide more dinners
for around $100.
Yep. You go catch you however many limits you do out throughout the year, just take that off of the price of the rod on how much it would have cost
The
in groceries.
There you go.
And you're up money.
Yeah.
And
You're making money here, guys, if you just sell that to your wives.
that's right. You know, I've got 5 Epic 8s, and I've had them, you know, I keep asking, you know, hey, I might need another one, you know, because if I've got 3 people fishing, I always want to have backups because I want to have a backup of every pole that each client's using so they don't have to transition into something when they're not prepared for it.
Right.
So, you know, I know some of those have boat flipped thousands of crappie.
Right.
And
well, you know, like you just said, you've still got your first one.
First one each, and it's performing.
And you go out almost every day.
Every chance I get, and I will have that Epic 8. I mean, I say that it's the Epic Great. You know, the Epic 8. You know, I say there's more than 8 ways to fish it. There's more than 8 techniques to have success with. It's definitely one that if you're looking to get into this lineup, which I hope everyone does, give that Epic 8 a try.
Start out with the Epic 8.
Maybe start out with the Epic 8, unless you're a live scoper and you're used to using a longer rod.
Because I like the longer ones. I'm definitely gonna get me a Ghost here in the near future. Definitely in springtime.
You're gonna have to order it because around here, as soon as the ghosts get here, it disappears.
Yeah.
And that's no joke. I mean, it's
that's
amazing.
That's not like the ghost disappears.
No, the ones that Craig's that she's got about the day.
Yeah.
You know, I even had a client of mine. He went down there looking for it. I told everybody, hey, they got one.
They got him there.
They got him there, and he called me up and he said, Matt, they're sold out, and I want to buy one for my wife. What do I do? I made a phone call, and the guy got that present for his wife.
Awesome.
And, you know, it's an unbelievable lineup. Like I say, you can't go wrong with any decision. The only thing you're going to do is wish that you had bought 2.
Yeah, and a great staff.
Oh, unbelievable staff. You know, Ken and Kay, Todd, Jerry, Joe. You know, they have some of the best fishing members in the whole world of fishing. They got some of the best quality of fishermen on their staff, and the customer service too is just amazing. You know, everyone tells me, "Hey, I called Ken, and I already got my rod."
Yeah,
and I'm like, and that's how successful businesses work.
Exactly.
You know,
that's why, once again, I always repeat that. That's what Flat Branch is trying to do: bring in people, products that help everyone be successful, and not only is it the product, but it's the people behind it.
People behind it, they make the difference. You know, you get what you pay for, and that doesn't stop at the purchase. You know, hey, I have a question. You can get a hold of them. Get online at feelthethump.com. You know, Ken's number's there to call. Mm-hmm. You know, and say, hey, now I need that hot rod. Yeah, I love the Epic 8. Now I need the hot rod.
I've reached out to him, and he's the one that returned.
Yep. The owner
of this place returned the call. Not a secretary, not anybody else. It was him.
Yep.
So that's special in my mind.
Yep. You know, you get the order, you place the order, it's shipped that day.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting it in the tube. You know, and it's such a relief having such a company to be able to support me, and I support them 100%. You know, like I got to go fishing with them down there, and I'm going to see all the guys at the shows this year. So it's an amazing group to be a part of, and I couldn't think of anything better for myself.
Yeah, well, I have not personally got to meet him yet, but I'm hoping to get down there to the Grizzly Jig. Hopefully he'll be somewhere down in that area, and if not, maybe we can get down there and maybe go fishing with him sometime.
Oh, mercy. You know, we just need to take about a 13-month vacation and give each place a good chance. And fishing with Ken and Todd and WSD.
And this is Oklahoma, correct?
Oklahoma, that's right. You know, you wouldn't think of Oklahoma's typical big crappie state, but
no,
I'll tell you what. If you're at Wister Lake, you're in the Kerr River system, you're on Lake Eufaula, and if you're with especially those guys that know the lake, like those 3, you know, Like I can't wait to get the opportunity to fish with a couple more of the teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Jerry Hancock. I'd love to get up there and fish with him. Dustin McDaniel up in Kansas. I was supposed to go fish with him last year, but he got COVID
Right.
the day I got down there.
Yeah.
So there's so many different bodies of water that you get to learn from these pros. And this one of the similar common denominators is you're going to get to fish a different rod and a different technique and learn the whole lineup.
Yeah, well, the knowledge that these guys have, the experience, wow. I mean,
It goes into their rod. It goes right into their rod. You know,
exactly.
they will not release a rod that does not perform up to their standard.
200 prototypes.
200 prototypes, and I might even be that just was in one spot. I don't
Yeah.
even know how many Todd had. You know, I was just with
Right.
Ken.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, these were all prototypes," and I was like, "Holy moly!" You know, like it's a true eye opener knowing what they put into these rods. But I'll tell you what's not an eye opener: what you get back.
Yeah.
You set the hook and boat flip.
Boat
flipping slabs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm hoping that we can get some of those guys on the podcast, sharing some of their tips, tricks, strategies to help our listeners.
Yes.
I know I want you to reach out, and I definitely will too, to get them on the show. And for now, though, we'll leave it at that. Check them out at
feelthethump.com.
feelthethump.com.
Power Crappie LLC, home of the Todd Huckabee Signature Series rods. feelthethump.com. Check them out. The website gives descriptions of all the poles, from the action to the line to the weight. It's fishable.
And if they have any questions,
Absolutely.
Reach
Anybody
out.
have any questions, reach out to me, Matt England. Find me on England Expeditions online, englandexpeditions.com. I have a Facebook group, Facebook page, England Expeditions, or get on my personal page, Matthew Daniel England. Ask me a question. I get it all the time. I really get a lot of questions for, hey, I'm going to, like the story I told, I'm going to buy this rod for X, Y, or Z, and I know they went fishing with you. What was their favorite?
Yeah.
And that's a great feeling to have these people trust in not only what I recommend, but the pole they picked out.
Right.
You know, they might fish 5 or 6 different rods, and they say, hey, this one here fits me the best. And options only equal success.
Right. Well, so Matt is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure you could reach out to the Power Crappie team as well. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate your time today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Dustin. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So as always,
come to the lake with a positive attitude, leave the lake with a positive attitude, and introduce a young adult to this beautiful sport of fishing, and check out them Power Crappie rods at feelthethump.com.
all right. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
And girls.